put your comments in the chat because I'd love to see what you guys have to say about that. And speaking of family, I know you mentioned your family. You're from Baltimore, is that correct?
Yes.
Yeah, and I remember hearing that there was some really unfortunate trauma that occurred in your family, and that this caused kind of a conflict with you and Oprah. Now, we've talked a lot about Oprah on this channel, Oprah and Gayle in particular, when that whole Michael Jackson thing went down, and just kind of their role in kind of, in my opinion, making the black man the face of predatory behavior. Right? We know we got predators in our community that have to be dealt with, but as I'm hearing about Michael Jackson or whomever else, I'm not hearing about Epstein, Weinstein, none of the Steens. But it's like all out assault on any black face, right? Which affects all black men, good and bad, because now you're looked at in a certain way. Tell me about Oprah Winfrey. I don't know. I've never met her. Based on what I just said, what thoughts go through either of your minds?
Barry, you want to start?
Come on, baby.
When I think about Oprah Winfrey, and I want to be fair, I think the Wiz, I think that when the curtain gets pulled back, we understand this was the Wizard of Oz. This was the Wiz. That's what I think at this moment when you say Oprah Winfrey's name to me. And there was a time, Dr. Watkins, I thought something different. There was a time that I wanted to be that woman. Not be her, but I saw this big woman, and she did a local television show called People Are Talking in Baltimore. And she looked like me. She had big shoulders, a big bush, a big head, big feet. And I was like, that's what I want to do. That's it right there. So my school at the time took a field trip to that studio. And I got a chance to meet this woman. And she's just a local host at this time. And I said, when I grow up, I wanna do what you do. She said, you gotta work really hard. Well, I never forgot those words. So for a long time, it was, that woman is doing it and making it. And she's breaking down doors as though she has. She's going over barriers. She's doing something that's never been done. But then when I got a chance to see her when nobody else was watching, I then understood why I feel like she's the Wiz, the Wizard of Oz.
In addition to the fact that I think based upon the interactions that we've had with Oprah, she's indicative of what we were just talking about, where it also highlights the challenges that Black folks have in this business, so much so that it almost makes you feel like you've got to be the only one. And there's almost this kind of like, if you've been in the presence of Caucasians, I've witnessed Black people feel uncomfortable in having discussions with Black people because hundreds of years of, if y'all come together and have a conversation, you're gonna make them feel uncomfortable, like you're gonna overthrow them. So in the mind of Oprah, it's as if she never wants to make them feel uncomfortable, and at the expense of her own will make them not feel uncomfortable by doing an interview, re-indicting or trying to indict Michael Jackson after 12 Caucasian people found him not guilty. So when you see that dynamic, and then you see old video of her being interviewed with Barbara Walters, and she said, yes, when I was younger, I wanted to be white. Now I know some people are gonna feel some kind of way about that. The black groups are gonna feel some kind of way about that. But that's how I felt. Well, the question is, when did that change? So when you have that mentality, it's a challenge to think about your people first, because in your mind, you've transcended somewhere else, and there's a level of guilty by association that you don't want to be found. in my humble opinion.